Hi, welcome to Nina in the kitchen. Today I'm going to make my mother's beef vegetable soup, which I think is delicious, and it's also incredibly easy. And here's how we begin. This is some beef bone that I purchased. It's got plenty of marrow in it, as you can see, and these were cut into slices, but sometimes you'll buy them as a whole bone, and either way, it doesn't matter. But you do want to see some marrow in there. That's what this middle stuff is. The reason for that is it lends body to the broth and a really nice flavor. And then to boost that flavor even more, I roasted these bones at 400 degrees for about 20 minutes in my toaster oven. So that just kind of caramelizes everything and makes it even more yummy. I also have 2 bay leaves. These are small, so 2 small. These are Turkish bay. And you can use 1 large bay leaf if you like instead. And 2 quarts of water. I'm going to put all of this into my stock pot. I'm going to put it on the stove, bring it up to a boil, then reduce it to a simmer and let this simmer for about 2 to 3 hours. You can let it go for 3 hours, go see a movie somewhere, come back, it'll be ready for you when you get back. So I'm going to do that now, and I'll see you in a couple of hours. So to review, because I never told you the amounts, I have 1 pound of beef bone. That's 454 grams of beef bone that I'm using. And that went into 3 liters or 3 quarts of water. And I have another 1 quart standing off to the side because I think I'm going to need it. I put this in a pressure cooker just to make it go faster, so that is an option. But right now, it's boiling away with those 2 imported bay leaves. I use Turkish bay leaves because they're not as medicinal tasting as the California bay, and I think I will put some water in there. It's looking pretty low. This soup turns out to be what I would call a minestrone. Minestra meaning soup, and oni is the suffix in Italian for something big. Ini is small, oni is big. So if this is going to be a big soup, it just always is. Here's barley. This is 1 cup of barley, which I have rinsed. I've sorted through. I know there's no stones in there. That goes in. Now, barley takes about 45 minutes, so I'm going to give that a head start. As soon as this comes back to the boil, we'll come back and finish it up. These are the other ingredients, or most of them. This is 1 pound of round, and I cut this into a small dice. It's about a 1/2 inch dice or 1 centimeter. Whatever you put in here, just remember you want it to fit on a spoon. So this is going in just like this. You can also use leftover meat scraps from something like a pot roast. This is 1 pound, 454 grams of potato. This is a medium starch potato. And I'm using that because I want this to hold its shape. And if you use a russet potato or a baking potato, what will happen is it's going to fall apart in the soup and lend starches to the soup that you probably don't want. This was a bag of 1 pound of mixed vegetables. They're frozen, as you can see, and that's a great convenience. This is a mixture of green beans, peas, corn, and carrots. Now that bag was 1 pound, so 454 grams. I also added a cup of lima beans. I just happen to have that in the freezer. Thought I'd get rid of those, so they're in here. You don't have to add any beans if you want, or you can add things like chickpeas, cannellini beans, kidney beans, anything you like. And this is 1 28-ounce can of tomatoes, which I've buzzed up in a inversion blender, or blender, whatever you have. That's going in. You can see how the soup grows, right? So bring it up to a boil, reduce it to a simmer. This soup has been simmering away for about 20 minutes with the lid askew, just like that. I have about 2 cups of cabbage, and that's how we're going to finish this, is with the little cabbage on top that I've diced. Remember, everything's going onto a spoon. I have a teaspoon of basil, and that goes in. That's dry basil. And I just wanted to let you know that this is a great time to use these cabbage leaves that you get on the very top of the cabbage. They are edible. And then of course you want to taste this and salt it. This should cook for another 20 to 30 minutes until the cabbage is incorporated into this and cooked. And oh, just adding the basil already, it's much more fragrant. Lid goes back on, 20 to 30 minutes, and this will be ready. Well, now the soup is finished, and like any soup, if you let it sit around for a little while, it will get even better. But just look at this, it's a beautiful soup. Completely homemade. And I just love that. No chemicals, no flavor enhancers. And it's so delicious that you certainly don't need it. All good stuff in here. It's so soul satisfying. I love soups. If you do, this is a keeper recipe. I've made it for years and I'm never disappointed. It always turns out beautifully. So I hope you try this. Let me know if you do. Thank you so much for watching. Bye guys.